The character of Ahsoka Tano may arguably be one of the most popular Star Wars characters ever. No Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, or Han Solo inserted retrospectively into lore up, down, and sideways after the prequels. And yeah, hi, this is Dutch Reason. Sorry for the artificial intelligence voice. Honestly, we first met Ahsoka in the Clone Wars animated feature from 2008.
I'm Ahsoka?
We're aware of much of Ahsoka's origin story. From the early parts of the Clone Wars animated series, Ahsoka was brought into the Jedi Order by Jedi Master Plo Koon, the favorite character of series creator Dave Filoni, and Ahsoka was given her name at birth. As we learn in the first episode of Season 1 of Tales of the Jedi, Ahsoka Tano. Commander Tano, a Togruta born on Chile, voiced by Ashley Eckstein in the Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. So pretty clear-cut. Except that it is not. Ahsoka's origins lie deeper. Star Wars Episode 2, The Attack of the Clones. Obi-Wan comes to Master Yoda and asks about Kamino, while Yoda is teaching a group of younglings. One of these younglings is a Togruta named Ashla, not a relevant character at all, but apparently important enough to get her own action figure. Those aware of the design phase of the Clone Wars know that Ahsoka was originally named Ashla. She was supposed to be one of the younglings under the tutelage of Master Yoda in Episode 2. But as her design progressed, her name was altered at some point as well. As a creation of George Lucas's Padawan Dave Filoni, it seems the character's creator could not shed the name Ashla entirely, however. According to Filoni's first Star Wars adventure made independently from George Lucas, Star Wars Rebels, Ashla is the light side of the Force, seemingly old terminology from the character named Bendu as seen in Season 3 of Rebels.
Jedi and Sith wield the Ashla and Bogan, the light and the dark.
And yet Ahsoka uses the name Ashla in Episode 6 of Tales of the Jedi.
Ashla, come sit with us.
Again, a series by Dave Filoni without direct influence by George Lucas, but it leaves us wondering. And yes, I am aware of the Ahsoka novel and the use of the name Ashla in that as well. But as Lucasfilm only treats comics and novels as canon when convenient, I'll leave that subject well alone. Thank you very much. We know that George wanted Ahsoka to die in the original show. Did he want the Ashla, the light side in Anakin, to die, to help explain why Anakin so readily embraced the dark side? In the Mortis arc of Season 3 of the Clone Wars, Ahsoka does indeed die. Here we see Obi-Wan. Anakin and Ahsoka travel through what can only be described as a giant space holocron into some sort of parallel space or Force dimension. Here the wills of the Force isolated to the overlords of the Force, the balance, the light side and the dark side of the Force in the form of their representatives, the Father, the Daughter, and the Son. Bit of a side note here, for those unfamiliar with animated Star Wars content. The wills of the Force came from George Lucas' original idea for the first Star Wars movie, and were supposed to play a major role in his version of the sequels. Yoda meets them later on the Clone Wars, and the characters of the Father, Daughter, and Son would later be referenced in Star Wars Rebels. Frankly, this is all rather confusing and never explained very well. Such is true for Ahsoka's resurrection. After her death, she is brought back by the Daughter, the light side of the Force, in exchange for her own life. With the light side of the Force now dead, the Force is out of balance. Whether or not Ahsoka is now the only true representative of the light side of the Force, the Ashla, remains unclear, but she isn't a sensory born. Is that another origin? I suppose I'll leave that one up to your headcanon. So we're now at for potential origins for Ahsoka, the real-world development of Ashla into Ahsoka. And feel free to make up your own mind if Episode 2 Ashla is Ahsoka or not. Her first appearance in the Clone Wars movie, her birth in Tales of the Jedi, and her resurrection or rebirth in the Mortis arc of the Clone Wars, and no. I am not going to consider anything like Ahsoka's live-action debut in The Mandalorian like another origin, and should you have read something in a book or comic, legends, or otherwise. That contradicts anything I've told you. I'm sorry, but again, nothing at Lucasfilm seems to be canon until it's moving on a screen. But there is one last origin for Ahsoka. Well, kind of one. Perhaps the weirdest one of all. It's from Star Wars Rebels. Ahsoka fights Darth Vader, finds out she's fighting Anakin, and is then about to die. Meanwhile, the character of Ezra is running around in the world between worlds and pulls Ahsoka from her predicament into the world between worlds. They then exit by means of a different point in time. Yeah, I'm not getting burned on that one. Just watch the show. It's on DVD, Blu-ray, and streaming. Plus, I'm sure a search for Rebels World Between Worlds on YouTube will do a far better job of explaining that whole hornet's nest than I could hear. So that's it. 5 origins for Ahsoka. But no, wait. What about that time Ahsoka was expelled from the Jedi Order, had to fight to survive, and then left on her own accord? That was a new start for her. So was also an origin story? Or is Season 7 of the Clone Wars where she was tempted to join Darth Maul and finally chose the light side once and for all? And whatever happened to that Huttlet from the first episode? Didn't she ever wonder whatever happened to that little critter?
Master, will I be a Jedi?
When gone am I, the last of the Jedi will you be?
I am no Jedi.
You, dear, please, not with me anymore.